And the Israeli Prime Minister's top advisor is set to arrive in Washington today for talks with President Trump. The two are set to discuss the war in Gaza, the recent conflict with Iran, and Prime Minister Netanyahu's planned visit to the White House next month. Meanwhile, the UN nuclear watchdog chief says Iran could begin enriching uranium again in a matter of months. Let's bring in foreign correspondent Tom Soufi Burridge in Tel Aviv for more on that. Hi, Tom. So after Israel's conflict with Iran, the focus now appears to be shifting back to the war in Gaza. How significant are these talks at the White House this week?
Yeah, I think they really matter because on the ground here in Israel, Diane, there are increasing signs that after the war between Israel and Iran, the war in Gaza might be moving into a new phase. And look, on the ground, Israel's military operations continue. The IDF has been telling people civilians to evacuate from parts of northern Gaza today. We've seen reports from the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry that many people have been killed on the ground in strikes today. But politically, there are some interesting signs. Late yesterday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu effectively, subtly changed his priorities for the war. And he basically said now that getting the hostages free is his top priority. Prior to today, for months, him and his advisors have really pushed the idea that degrading Hamas militarily is the top goal. And they've argued that basically degrading the group, that will put pressure on Hamas and that will lead to more hostages being freed, even though here in Israel many people disagree with that. We're also seeing from the Israeli government a shift in the security assessment for communities around the Gaza Strip. So there are signs, including around the court trial that the Prime Minister is facing, the fact that he's not in court this week, and there are lots of reports that he might go to Washington himself, that yes, President Trump is pushing for an end to the war in Gaza, and the Israeli government might be shifting its position too.
Israel's foreign minister is also suggesting Israel is interested in peace agreements with both Lebanon and Syria. How likely is that to happen, and how much would that change things in the Middle East?
It would be absolutely huge, and I think it gives you a sense of how much the Middle East has changed, not only within the last couple of weeks after that war between Israel and Iran, but also over the last few months, Israel's war against Hezbollah in Lebanon, changes within Syria. I mean, peace deals and normalization of relations between Israel and Syria and Lebanon might be probably the hardest of many other countries to achieve because of the complexities within those two countries and the complexities of their relationships with Israel. There are more likely candidates like Saudi Arabia, like Oman, possibly. Look, according to an Israeli official, they are working on these types of deals, but look, they won't be easy to achieve, and most Arab nations, we believe, will require the war in Gaza to end first, and that's before you even begin to think about the what next in Gaza. No one so far, including the Israeli government, has come up with a credible plan about what happens in Gaza after the war ends.
All right, Tom Soufi Burridge in Tel Aviv, thank you.